You're watching Cover to Cover, our guide to the Sikh and Punjabi books that you need to read. This week we're looking at Misl, Sikh State and the Institution of Khalsa by Dr. J.C. Dua. This book was published in 2006 and the version that we're reviewing is the hardbound edition. In this work, the academic and author Dr. Dua from Delhi brings together 12 of his published articles in one space. Those articles had been presented at a range of seminars over the years on topics including the Misl period, which was in the latter part of the 18th century, British historiography, so how British historians saw the Punjab and the Sikhs, Maharaja Ranjit Singh's reign, the village system that existed in the Punjab, and then overall the institution of the Khalsa throughout the 18th and 19th century. This is definitely what I would call a meaty book, so let's not waste any time and get stuck in. As well as a foreword to the book that has been written by Dr. Jaspal Singh, principal of the Guru Gobind Singh College of Commerce at the University of Delhi, the author has provided a preface and then a very handy introduction to the book that gives a little bit of context and background to when and where each of the 12 papers was written and what kind of subject matter it covers. There is an appendices at the end of the book looking at some of the key significant works of the historian and academic Dr. Ganda Singh, on whom this book weighs on quite heavily. And then there are, of course, each of the 12 papers. Let's take a look at some of the titles. 18th Century Punjab Polity, Power, Position and Achievements of Sardar Ala Singh. The British Historiography on Sardar Jassa Singh Ahluwalia and his place in 18th century Punjab history. The British understanding of the Sikh struggle for power during the 18th century. Socio-economic and cultural life of the people under the rule of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Bringing together so many different papers that had been presented at various seminars over the years, you'd be forgiven for thinking that this collection is actually a mishmash of papers. But you'd be mistaken. The author's diligence in each of the papers is clear for the reader to behold. This is definitely an academic work, and there are extensive references and footnotes that follow each chapter. But there is something of a tapestry and a thread that flows from the first paper right until the 12th, meaning that you could pick this book up and read it from start to finish, or quite easily dip into each individual paper as and when you need it. The author based his research for each paper on original sources, whether those were in Punjabi, Marathi, English or Persian. And you can see that in the conclusions that he starts to draw. Now, whilst this is an academic work, I think the layman would find some of the subject matter quite fascinating, particularly those of you who don't have a keen interest in Sikh history but are concerned with the Punjab and how it developed, particularly in the 18th and 19th century. As one might expect from a work published for academia, this is incredibly well presented, it's very easy to read and easy on the eye, there's good use of formatting throughout. This is definitely a book that those of you who are academics will want to pick up and look at from time to time, particularly if your work involves the Misl period or Maharaja Ranjit Singh's era, or, of course, how the British perceived Sikhs and the Khalsa in the Punjab. For those of you who are not academics, this is not a book that you're going to want to rush out and spend money on, but it is a book that you might want to try and borrow at some point to delve into, to start picking up some more detail on this fascinating time period in our history. But we want to know what you think, so please leave a comment below. Make sure you click subscribe to the Naujawani YouTube channel for more Cover to Cover, our guide to the Sikh and Punjabi books that you need to read.